Welcome back to the Nameless College Football Show, where what we don't have in a name or music or graphics or any of that, we make up for with enthusiasm and entertainment. I'm your host, Brandon. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Petey. Captain Petey, fill the people in on your condition currently.
I have a migraine behind my eyes, so it's hard to look at the screen. So I'm going to pull through, though. We'll be fine. It just
I believe in
I'm
you.
going to lean heavily on your outlook on life.
This was tough because I just got over my allergy thing. I feel great today.
Yeah.
And then you're on the injured list. So it's been a rough couple of weeks for the show. But do you hear that noise?
I think I do.
That's right. A special episode in which we start with the Gamecocks football captain's log. The only reason Captain Petey has not died is because of the great news we got. Offensive coordinator Mike Shula, not even a year into his tenure, fired. Captain Petey, can you believe it?
Party. 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 Oh, man. I think we knew as of week one this was not a good fit.
Yes.
And it took us 11 more weeks of god-awful trash to finally to make Beamer see the light and make his first fire ever.
Yes. I think that is the big thing there with, to me, kind of signals that Beamer feeling a lot of heat currently.
Rightfully so. I mean,
Yes.
if you've paid attention all year, you have seen the absolute garbage that we've been trotting out there as far as offensively. And it's been blatantly obvious that it's not a lack of talent. It's a severe deficiency in coaching. We are the worst coached team, at least offensively, that I've seen. And it's amazing that we've won the games we have.
It's the reason why you have a migraine. So let's talk about the game that got Shula fired. Ole Miss beat us 30-14, and the whole broadcast, Louis Riddick was just roasting everything that we were doing offensively, and every offensive stat they showed for us. I think the highest we ranked was 121st out of 136 teams. It was very bad.
I mean, I think most of them we were 130th in those classifications, and this was a continuation of last week where Jordan Rogers was giving us shit about how much we're the most sacked team in all of college football, and we should have had twice as many sacks, but we don't because we have Lenore Sellis back there just making miracles out of crap. And you know, more of this continues. I will say that I'm surprised in the last 2 weeks that we have cleaned up somewhat the false start penalties. So thank you, whoever is responsible for that. I don't think it was Shula, though.
Now, I believe Sean Elliott now is in charge of the offensive line, and we do trust him from his tenure before, so I want to give him credit because I like him. But I don't know who gets credit.
I mean, he has got, at least with us, he has a proven track record with us prior, 10 years ago with under Spurrier. So he's competent, I would say.
You would hope.
Yeah.
Certainly more so than what we've been experiencing the past couple of seasons.
Yeah, I mean, when we hired Shula, we were all kind of like, okay, he's not a coordinator anywhere. He's our offensive analyst. That's like us going back to Will Muschamp and say, hey, do you want to be the DC, or defensive coordinator? He's not currently like coaching.
Yeah.
And then we just like, oh, well, he was good with Cam Newton. Bring him in. Well, he's been fired a couple times after that. So something's probably not going great. And then we saw a whole lot of not great all year.
Yeah. And it kind of makes you wonder, just seeing Cam Newton at Auburn as well and who he was playing for.
Yeah.
Was Shula good with Cam Newton, or was Shula good because of Cam Newton?
I would say the latter.
Yes. And so Lenoris is great, but he's not Cam Newton, and he shouldn't be expected for him to carry a terrible offensive coordinator who is now gone. But that game was just pathetic to watch.
Well, if you look at our play calling, okay, we do a sweep with Attaway on 4th and 1.
Yes, I love that one.
And we get tackled for 3 yards in the backfield. What did you think was going to happen? And then let's just run the clock out with 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the first half.
You know who that reminded me of?
Oh, yeah.
That was the Muschamp special.
Yeah, that is all Muschamp for eons. Just his favorite thing in the world is to run the clock out, even though you're down by 15 points in the first half.
Yeah, it was great. We are still the only team in the nation that has yet to gain 350 yards of total offense this season. 230 yards is what we got, so just really not even close.
There was, you know what, there were plenty of opportunities to hit big plays in this game. It was so infuriating, and I mean, there's a problem with Sellers. His accuracy has gotten worse.
Yeah.
And if he could please throw the ball out of bounds just once, I would just love to see it. Throw it away. Let's not take the 15-yard sack. I know you believe in yourself, but come on. Let's just make it easier for us. Come on. I was so... Every time he'd break a tackle or something, get outside, and he'd throw it to somebody downfield who's wide ass open and just overthrow him by 20 yards. Or throw it was baffling to me. But hey, I'm not Lenoris, so I don't have this talent to begin with. So I would have never been in that position to even be able to throw it.
I think you deserve a shot.
Just depressing.
Yeah, I think, and you wonder how much of that has got to be tied into you have to feel like you're playing hero ball, and the offensive line is terrible, so you develop these bad habits. It reminds me a lot of watching Spencer Rattler again. Yeah, where as a senior, when he was just like trying to stay alive and also win games via miracle, and you end up looking terrible a lot of times. And that's definitely how Lenoris looked, because you're right. He was missing throws I feel like I really could have made myself, and I can't make any throws.
And it's like a lot of them are just like he's throwing rockets at him and like and like overshooting them by so much. Like you don't have to launch it to the guy that's 15 yards away. You know, just get it to him. He's wide open. Just make sure he catches it, and then let him run for another 20 or 30 yards because it's wide ass open. But there was a lot of busted plays that should have ended up in either touchdowns or big gains that just didn't work. Just did not get them the ball.
Yeah, it was terrible. So heading into the bye week, we are 75% done with the season.
Thank God.
Yes, we have lost 6 of our last 7 games. How do you feel about what we've done this year, Petey?
I mean, it's just a waste. We have wasted the best talent we've had. Like, you know what? And it kind of pissed me off too. I was watching the Sunday night NFL game, and I was watching like all these. I think it was Seattle and Washington, and there's all these Gamecock players on the field making plays. they didn't do shit when they were on our team.
Yep.
Other than Debo. But yeah, just it's like the coaching is the problem.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that watching the Panthers game, and Rico Dowdle is carrying the Panthers, who are not a good team, to victory against Green Bay. And that was not – I don't think he was a Beamer guy, but it is just a symbol of the program, how we have these great individual players, and we can never do anything collectively with them. And then we're just always disappointed. And anytime a coach shows like an ounce of some sort of success, we give him a 13-year extension, and then he stinks again, turns right back into a pumpkin.
Yeah.
And it's terrible.
I mean, in my lifetime, the only coach that I can think of that I felt had any kind of confidence in was Spurrier. And before that was Lou Holtz, which was decent enough. But, we knew we weren't winning anything with him. And then after that, just been, garbage. Just garbage. I don't know what to tell you. It's like we are just cursed to live in despair. Yeah. I'm just looking back at
Beamer is 32-28 through 60 games. But how and why and what's going on?
And other than last year, he's not had any spectacular success.
No, and it always feels
like a sham.
Kind of, like a little fluky.
Yeah.
Like the end of 2022 when we got Tennessee and Clemson, that was kind of like, that basically saved the season because we were those two games we were not expected to win, and that's a completely different 8 wins versus 6 wins gives you a much different feel. Last year kind of felt like we got hot and just, again, very fluky. And then I feel like the story always gets told in the bowl game, no matter how great we are during the regular season, great being relative. Yeah. But then we show up for a bowl game and someone just shits on us.
Yeah. We never get off the bus at the bowl game. It seems like we just stay in our hotel rooms every time. Other than, back when Spurrier was around, or even when he was around. But after Steven Garcia left, we finally started winning bowl games.
Yeah. So, you know what? Not a lot of fun to be a Gamecock fan, but at least Shula is gone.
Yeah. And I don't know who we're going to replace him with. And, I mean, to tell you the truth, depending on how the rest of the season goes, we might not even have Beamer next year. I don't see that happening. I don't really want that to be the case because good luck hiring anybody this year.
Yeah.
But I don't know who. I don't have a clear hot OC that I'm after to replace him with.
No, I've seen names floated. Our fan base is very funny because we'll either float like someone who would never come here, or we'll float someone completely terrible who we should not want to come here.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. Think it through. I agree with you. I think, first of all, Beamer would have been fired if, like you said, these higher profile programs had not fired their coaches already. And if we hadn't just given him an extension, I think he would be gone. I do think he makes it back for next season. I think next season is his last season if there is not a significant improvement.
And I don't know how we even begin to go about finding someone to replace Shula with, because there's been so many firings. All these OCs are going to be jumbled up too, and they're going to go to the big jobs like LSU or probably FSU or Penn State, and all these higher profile teams. So we'll probably end up hiring another tight ends coach as our OC, which has been our best OC under Beamer.
Yeah, that's very sad.
Even though he's only 4-4 at App State, but as a head coach, but still,
man, that's rough. So that's where things are, and that's why PD has a migraine.
Yeah, it's been here ever since Saturday afternoon.
So, pivoting to the national picture, another migraine-inducing weekend for you. PD, explain what happened with your college football viewing experience, because you are not alone.
Apparently, YouTube TV and ESPN are having a pissing contest and refuse to show me football on YouTube TV. So, apparently, if you do have Disney Plus and that bundle, you can't just watch games as well on the with the ESPN Plus app. You have to go back and pay an extra $30 a month to get ESPN Unlimited now, so you can watch games. And I don't know what YouTube TV is good for if they're not allowed to show me any kind of football.
So this was something I saw a lot of talk about on social media too. This was the first, because I feel like this happens every season now, where Disney gets in a dispute with some provider and they pull sports, and they do it like right as games are starting because they know it's going to make people mad. But this is the first year where I've really seen a lot of the criticism headed towards Mickey Mouse as well. Like, people are mad at ESPN this year about it, and they're just as mad at YouTube TV because what I'm seeing is exactly what you said. Like, why do I have YouTube TV if I can't watch sports? This is stupid. Yeah. But I'm also seeing people want Disney to burn to the ground as a result of it too, because everyone's like, how much money could you possibly want? And this does seem to be like a play to get you to download the ESPN app, from what I've seen too. They want you over there, so they don't really give a shit.
Yeah, and I mean, you're nickeling and diming us at every chance you get, and you're making it to where you have to have the ultimate version of every app to be able to watch anything. Like, I couldn't even watch the Georgia-Florida game, which was on ABC, because Disney owns ABC.
That is very absurd. So instead of talking about the games, which no one got to watch, we're going to try to figure out who is the greediest in the college football landscape. Let's start first with the networks. ESPN, again, they do not care about screwing over YouTube TV subscribers. They want more money for their broadcast from YouTube TV. They have plenty of money, it would seem, because they paid literal billions for the rights to both the college football playoff and SEC games. But I guess they want to make that money back. And so people like Captain Petey get screwed over.
So at what point do we just go back to cable?
That's what I'm wondering. Because, like, that was such a good setup. And I'm sure it would be expensive, but it's already expensive.
I don't know what cost the cable is now, or what, like, satellite dish or whatever. I don't know if that's still around or not. But you can, I mean, it was probably like, what, $50, $75 a month? But then you get everything. You get 2 or 3 ESPNs, you get all your regular channels, CBS, NBC, and, HGTV and Comedy Central and all that kind of shit. At what point is it worth it just to go back to that?
And you also have the added bonus of you don't have to switch between apps to see things.
Yes.
Because that's become a real pain in my old man ass.
Yeah. Otherwise, you have to get like 4 or 5 TVs set up on the wall, and then you can watch them all 4 together. But just, I don't like it. No. This is like technology is getting better, but the experience is getting worse.
Yes. I was under the impression this was supposed to improve our lives, but things are just so much more complicated. And so I don't know. I do think at some point there has to be a huge change, especially if, like I said, what I'm seeing, people's complaints keep building, where people are like, well, fuck it. I just won't watch the games, and that'll be that.
Well, tell you what, in a month, I'm canceling my subscription for ESPN Ultimate because I will not be watching anything else. And I'm sure, like, the playoff games will be, I'm sure I can find them somewhere, or I can just go to a bar or somewhere. But, like, I don't need to pay I'm not going to pay $30 a month all year.
No, that's crazy, especially in this economy. Everything's going to shit.
Yeah.
And you want us to pay this much extra for college football. And that's why they do it. They do it during college football and NFL season because they know this is when it's going to hurt the most. And it's a bunch of bullshit. So networks kind of, I have a hard time seeing anyone knocking you off the top spot as far as the greediest is concerned. But we also have the conferences who sell their TV media rights to the highest bidder, and they accept schools to generate the highest bids, even if that means going way outside of a geographical region that makes any kind of sense, and or ruining decades-long rivalries that fans enjoy. PD, shit on some conferences with me. Cal in the ACC, stupid.
Right. ACC is absolutely the worst conference.
Ridiculous.
Even calling them a Power 4 team or conference is bonkers.
Yeah.
That, especially right now, like none of the good teams play each other because you've got 20 teams in this conference, and they're like half of them are on the West Coast, and then you're traveling 6 hours one way in an airplane to go play a football game at 11 a.m. and then you're getting your ass kicked in because you're just hungover from jet lag, and then you've got teams that are, you got Georgia Tech who lost by the way, and you got Miami who lost. You don't have any power teams that are like headliners, and then you or have all these like garbage teams mixed in there as well that are just getting no rating. I mean, I can't imagine getting any ratings off them anyways, but they're reaching at these little territories to bring in eyes when there's not any kind of cohesive, sentiment to this conference. It's just, why do this to yourself?
It's so stupid. Big Ten does the same thing. Like UCLA and USC are in the Big Ten. That is stupid. Oregon, like that.
Yeah.
Big Ten is a Midwest conference. ACC, it's in the name for you, Atlantic Coast. You have Pacific teams that can go in the Pacific Ocean. That is stupid. The SEC makes more sense geographically, but there's too many teams. And now, we were talking about Halloween weekend, to me, is South Carolina, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Well, we don't play Tennessee because there's 4 million teams in the SEC. And so then they like pick and choose which rivalries should matter to fans. Well, fans know the games that matter, but so you don't really give a shit about fans. But at least the SEC, I guess, is pretending. And then you got the Big 12, which is just a hilarious conference. But but like they've driven up these media rights deals by accepting these teams from all over to make everything that much more palatable to the networks. And the networks are just passing that on to us or not even letting people watch college football. And it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, but they added these markets that no one really gives a shit about.
Yes.
Like they added Stanford and Cal. Like why is Virginia going all the way to Cal to play a game? Just if you want to do it, if you want to have these teams that are all over the country, just do a division. Have an East Coast division, have a West Coast division. That way you don't have teams flying all back and forth across the country every week.
it's even stupider when you consider this goes for every sport.
Right.
So
Just like basketball or soccer and softball, you're flying all the way to Oregon to play women's softball. Why?
there's no way that makes any sense financially for the schools. I don't see how that's possible unless there's there's a ton of money in these deals. So I guess it does make some sort of financial sense, but it certainly doesn't make sense for the athletes to be doing this.
I mean, the athletes got to be the ones getting screwed over the most on this, but yes. I can't imagine that the networks are seeing a lot of, with the ACC one, I would say, they're not seeing a lot of return on that investment, I would assume.
No. And it sucks for the fans too, because I thought the role of a conference was to keep everything geographically similar so that I could go see games easily, especially since they're so expensive or you don't even get to see them on TV now. But how am I going to go travel and see a Penn State softball game if they're playing in Los Angeles? I'm not going to do that. And so it's just so goofy.
Like, the only reason it should be traveling that far is like for with football, like a bowl game or maybe a conference championship or something like that.
Yes. It should be a special occasion, not just standard week in, week out regular season play. That is ridiculous. All right.
I mean, you might end up in the end just when you've got a conference like the ACC, just creating 4 divisions and then having a playoff into your conference championship game, and then your conference champion gets to go on to the national championship playoff.
That would at least make
that would be too thoughtful.
Yeah, they don't do that.
Also, there's too many of them. They have to play each other regardless, so they got to play somebody.
Yep. So the conferences, you're terrible as well, greedy. How about the schools who are constantly finagling to get into these conferences so they can get a piece of the media money pie? They also don't want to pay the athletes, but they do end up paying them, much to their chagrin. They also pay coaches a shit ton of money, even if that means paying coaches to not coach anymore.
Yep.
I hate schools too. This is just not even greedy. This is just who I hate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they fought for decades along, the NCAA to not pay these kids who are sacrificing their bodies and lives, but sometimes to bring in all this money, and now that they have to actually pay them, it's a little. It was insulting for a long time, but now that we're just giving coaches $50 million to not coach him, it shows that it really wasn't about the money.
No,
like they always had the money to pay the players. They just didn't want it.
Yeah, they got money falling out of their fucking asses because they're paying damn Brian Kelly to not coach, Hugh Freeze. Also, to show you how much they care about anything, I was reading that they were able to lower Brian Kelly's buyout based on threatening him with the morals clause in his contract. So I would be curious to see what he violated. Yeah. Because it wasn't an issue when he was winning football games. Right. And then same thing with Hugh Freeze, a man who was terrible that Auburn hired, and they somehow have replaced him, at least in the interim, with an even worse person in DJ Durkin, who killed a player at Maryland. And so it kind of lets you know all this bullshit we were fed about how coaches are these moral, upstanding citizens who teach you how to be a man, and we care about how good of a person they are when we hire them to coach our football team as well and lead our program. That is complete bullshit. They only hire the worst people, it would seem. You have to commit several crimes.
I don't care what you do.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Auburn has kind of always been. They feel like Alabama's little brother, so they're going to do whatever it takes to beat Alabama. And
they don't care if you have a lot of skeletons in your closet as long as they don't come to light.
Yep. Because I just couldn't believe Hugh Freeze got another big time job. But when you're desperate to win games, and that's all that really matters, and I guess it's the lie that they care about more than winning that bothers me, because you only care about winning.
Yeah.
So just stop pretending that you care about anything else. Because I am not stupid. I can see that you hired Hugh Freeze for a lot of money and then paid him a lot of money to go away only because he wasn't winning games.
Yeah.
He was probably still calling escorts, knowing him.
Well, I mean, Arkansas has Bobby Petrino back on, as interim head coach. And I would not be surprised if Art Briles was interested in the job. He could probably get one.
Yes. This was the problem that started my beef with A&M fans when I pointed out how many terrible people they were hiring on their staff, because they had Dirk in there, and they had Petrino, I believe, on staff at the end.
Maybe.
And they got angry at me because I thought that was funny, and it's still funny. And then they gave Jimbo a publisher clearinghouse check at halftime. Well, they didn't give it to him directly, but they gave it on the field so that they could fire this man. And that's funny. And it's worked out for them because they hired a good coach.
Yeah.
But it's also pretty ridiculous of a school to do that. So, fuck A&M, I guess is what I'm saying. All right. Next, we just talked about them. The coaches who also don't want players to be paid. That was very hard to say for me. They don't want players to be paid, and they don't really like them transferring.
Yeah.
But they will accept transfers, and they will pay the players that they want to help them win. And they also, as a coach, want the ability to leave a program immediately to take a higher paying job.
So there's one coach that has not accepted this philosophy, but it's also a supreme dickhead that I just loathe. Dabo Sweeney. He has finally started taking some transfers, and I guess they do pay. I don't know what their NIL deal is at Clemson, but I mean, I'm sure they're paying their players. I never hear anything about them paying players. But he was also very adamant, however many years ago, that if they ever started paying players, he was going to retire.
Yes.
Guess what, Dabo? You're still there. You've won 3 games this year.
Still hanging on, Dabo. The Palmetto Bowl this year is going to be great.
Oh my, yeah, the toilet of the Southeast. Just let's see how that one goes. Good for us. We get it in Williams-Brice.
Yes. But you're right. He was the one beacon of morality in his refusal to accept transfers, and I think that it's the hypocrisy that gets me, because not only do coaches leave, but also the transfer issue would not be an issue if coaches weren't so good about recruiting other teams' players and getting them to transfer and accepting those transfers.
Well, if we actually had like a set of rules that were enforceable, but going back to the NCAA doesn't really exist anymore. Yeah. From I think that was last week when we talked about it. But if we could just get to a point like the NFL is, where we have contracts with these players, it would not be a complete, shit show every transfer portal, which seems like it's every 3 months or something. But I get it. Coaches could leave and go stay at any time. It wasn't fair for players to not being able to leave. They had to sit out for a year. I mean, it would have been fair if coaches had to sit out for a year when they left the job. That would have been fair. Yeah. I would have been more. That'd been more respectable. Or if you get fired, but just there's all the hypocrisy is just what the problem is. If we could there's already a game plan set out for this. Why not just implement it? We already know what it is. Let's just do that.
We have professional football. We see how it looks.
Yeah.
Just do the thing. I don't know. This has turned into me ranting, and I've enjoyed it thoroughly.
Well, college football is professional football. They're paid to play. So,
yes.
I mean, they also have to supposedly go to school, but fine.
Yeah. Yeah, you care about that when you're
Many
singing.
people go to work and school at the same time. It's called, being an American.
Yeah.
Can't afford to do one without the other.
Yeah. So, yeah, it is the hypocrisy that's bothering me and got me worked up. And that's why I'm not even abiding by my own rules to this segment, because I'm charged up. So the last two, I don't necessarily agree with, but I do have to float them. Are players possibly the greediest because they want money and the ability to transfer freely, just like coaches want. And now they also want to play college football for 37 years. Every time I look through rosters, like this guy's been here since 2019, 2020. Diego Pavia,
Diego Pavia was
years
playing
old.
back in 2012, beating Auburn at New Mexico State or some shit.
It's like what?
I can't believe he's about to have his 50th birthday or something.
Yes,
but there are. For the most part, I would say they are the least greediest of the options. But there are, there's a few outliers here. Nico Imiala, whatever.
Yeah.
Imialaviele or something. I mean, look, that bit him in the ass, but
big time.
There's clearly some. There's clearly some players out there that do have that mentality, but I think for the most part, a lot of them want to go where they can play.
Yeah.
And money does talk, but they for the most part want to go where they can play, which might end up being where they will make the most money anyways, because if you're not on the field, you're not going to get like endorsements and stuff.
Correct. I think you are right about that. I think when we do run into one of these outliers, it ends up blowing up in their faces for the most part, and so everything works out.
Which I mean, I don't think it should be that way, because since when are we blaming the employee for the same shit that the boss does?
Well, that is the hallmark of American capitalism. You hold the employee to a higher standard than the billion dollar corporation. That's the American dream.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
It makes perfect sense. The people
There
who
are
are
ones that are, getting CTE every weekend, so
yes, you shit on the labor at all costs. It is the player's fault. It is the employee's fault.
I'm a pro labor guy.
Yeah.
I think we should unionize, but that's just me.
Yeah, we should. We're going to get that started. The Nameless College Football Show Union.
Northwestern tried it.
They did. I can't believe that didn't work, because if a school could have pulled it off, I feel like they got a lot of smart
the
people.
Smarties up there in Chicago.
Yeah, I think it's got to be revisited at some point.
I mean, the NFL has one. Why not the college, CPA?
Hello. Hope the kids are listening. And then the final, are they possibly the greediest? Fans. We want access to as many games as possible, as cheaply as possible, even though you can only really pay close attention to one game at a time, and the option of having this many potential games to watch is only a recent development. We also want our programs to be great, which means spending money. A huge chunk of that money comes from these TV deals, and networks have to get that money back somehow, so naturally it comes back around to us. Are fans the greediest, Petey?
No.
Agreed.
You, for the most part, I think fans watch their team.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'll watch other games if it's a good game. Like I wanted to watch Georgia, Florida, but ESPN was greedy. The Mickey Mouse was greedy. He didn't want me to watch Florida and Georgia. But yeah, it's just there's what is it, 136 FBS teams now.
Yeah,
which you can't watch all the games.
no.
So maybe you can catch 3 at most. If you have a life, if you're a person that has shit to do, you're not watching all the games.
And you've used like the multi-view. I've had the 2 TV setup.
Yeah.
That only really works if it's games you only like halfway care about. You can't if you're locked in. Like you wouldn't do that if Clemson Carolina was on.
No.
Because you want to watch
no.
Or then like you just wouldn't do that. You would go old school if you were going to check in on another game and just hit the last button on your remote. That's what we all grew up doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe if we were watching HBO and we didn't want people to know we were watching Real Sex or whatever the show was, it came on HBO. But we have like us in particular, we have great experience in how many college football games you can possibly watch at once because we grew up without cable.
Yeah, you had 3 channels.
You could make it. We made it work. Like we made it work without cable because you had CBS, you had the SEC. You would even have, before the SEC came on, you would have Jefferson Pilot Sports would come on with an ACC game at noon. Then you would have the SEC at 3:30. And then you'd get your big time game on ABC. But you didn't have all these options, and look at us. We're so passionate that we do this every week through illness
and despair.
Yeah, we do it every week. So
at this point, we don't have the option of not watching.
Yeah.
So for your son's sake, we have to break the cycle.
That's true.
You have to unsubscribe from all of your streaming networks so he can never watch a Gamecock football game ever. And that way, if he never knows that they exist, then he'll be saved from a lifetime of eternal despair.
That's true. I can't, in good faith, put him through that. Like,
I can go back 30 years and say, "Hey, don't ever go to that football game." To me, your life will be so much better. You'll have much better Saturdays. I think I probably would, because there have been a lot more lows than there have been highs.
Yeah, I mean, you just said, other than Spurrier, the other coach you trusted was Lou Holtz, and it doesn't get a whole lot sadder than that. Because I mean,
and I didn't even trust him. I just thought he was funny to listen to.
That's true. It sounds like Daffy Duck and like Elmer Fudd had a strange love child with an even worse speech impediment.
They put him on that show with was it Mark May?
Yes.
After he retired, I can't remember what it's called. But half the show was just them trying to translate what he said.
Yes. Anytime you speak English and that's your only language and you get subtitles,
Him and Ed Orgeron are the only 2 coaches that you can think of where you have to get subtitles underneath them. Which means, how do they correlate to or communicate with their players?
That is a great question, because Ed Orgeron, he sounds like the overalls wearing coach from The Waterboy.
Yes.
And then Lou, he just spits the whole time he talks. He's, I don't know. And that's the second most trusted coach in program history since we've been watching.
Yeah, in the last 8 years.
That's tough. It's tough, everybody. Hope you feel
I
bad.
don't know who was before Holtz.
Brad Scott.
I think wasn't that the 0-11 year?
Yeah, Holtz went 0-11. Scott went 1-10, and then he became a coordinator at Clemson, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll see.
Yeah, so that was like very early on of my college football watching days, and I know that from it not being on cable. That was network television. So
And you couldn't go back, like, record it and go back and, like, watch it later on back then. You had to be there on a Saturday at noon watching for 3.5 or 4 hours because it was longer back then.
Yep.
And now now I can go do some shit. And watch it later. Not anymore because of fucking YouTube TV.
Thanks a lot, YouTube TV and ESPN. And I think another part of this is where networks are going to win the most greediest. If they haven't already, they probably already won. Let's be real. They're the most greedy of all the things we've mentioned.
When you're raking in billions of dollars, I think you're 100% the greediest.
And what makes it an absolute blowout, particularly from an ESPN standpoint, they are spending this money on Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee. Just set it on fire.
Yeah. Who's watching that anymore?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, how did they fall so far?
I mean, they were firing everybody like 5 years ago. That's how Lebatard went off on his own.
Yep.
But why are you watching sports debate television? I mean, because you watch us, but
But we are much better.
Yeah, Stephen A. was just him being angry at everybody and telling them they're stupid, which is fine. Most people are, but it was their version of Fox News.
Yeah, and it just feels very contrived. Like he doesn't believe the shit he's doing. So he's like a wrestling character. When we get mad, we're being honest. We're honestly mad.
He's literally on a soap opera for.
Yes.
I guess he still is. I don't know if he is or not, but he was for a long time.
And then McAfee, every episode of Game Day is the same. Like at some point, he's gonna take his shirt off. He's gonna sing wherever they're at that week. He's gonna sing their fight song. He's gonna
put a cowboy hat and make a special needs kid kick a field goal.
Yeah, and that's another thing. They're giving away money to these kids kicking.
Giving away $500,000.
Stop giving away the money and make a deal with YouTube TV. Okay. Stop giving away the money. There's no more money for these kids kicking, okay? It's also kind of fucked up. You need that much money to go to college in the United States of America. Yeah. And the way that we do it is this weird, bizarre Squid Games where we make you kick a field goal on TV to get it. Everything is fucked up. That is crazy.
The American college system is Squid Games.
Yes. It is so crazy. We do okay, and we're going to have Kirk Herbstreit hold it for you. And then Herbstreit is going to hop in a private jet with his dog that he's cloned 37 times. And he's going to fly so he can be an announcer. Stop doing this. Just stop doing this. You could put someone who is not Pat McAfee, who is a lot cheaper than Pat McAfee, but less of a frat bro. Or hell, use a frat bro. I don't give a fuck. Put Petey on the show. Let him
I can kick a field goal. I can jump up in my chair. I can go pew 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 with the cap guns and a cowboy hat. I already got the chaps, so
yes, he does.
In my horse training days, I can lasso me a cowpoke or something.
And so save money on McAfee. Herbstreit, goodbye. Your private jet. Have someone who doesn't have to go call a game. Be there. They don't need a private jet. Maybe they only have one dog, or maybe they have dogs they don't have to clone, and they don't have to act like they're the only person to ever have owned a fucking dog. Just have them there, and then have a separate announcer who is, these two people will be cheaper than Kirk Herbstreit because there will be no private jet.
Why do we need to pay Kirk Herbstreit and why do they need millions of dollars to be sportscasters? Would you not still want to do that job for $500,000?
Yes.
$100,000? I would do it for 60. And I would do it for 10. I'd do it for 5, actually. 500.
See? He's bidding against himself. And Herbstreit, I have not once tuned into a game to hear Herbstreit announce it.
No.
I don't give a shit if he's announcing.
To be honest, I'm surprised like when I turn into a game and I hear his voice, I'm surprised. Like, what is he doing? Why is he here? He was just on another game 3 hours ago, and then the next day he's on an NFL game.
Yes, and he sounds just upset to be calling the NFL game as though he did not take the job. And as far as announcers are concerned, I only need you not to be terrible. I'm talking to you, Steve Adazio, ACC Network. You suck, okay? Former Boston College coach, I believe. That guy, I was watching Clemson lose, and he almost ruined it for me. He was so bad. But as long as you get rid of him, the Sam Achos, the ones who really stick out as being terrible.
I really hated Jordan Rodgers for a long time.
Yeah.
Until this year, when he was shitting on Shula for so long.
Yeah, finally. He's still a douche. Somehow manages it just
I think
by...
it's the hair.
Yeah, it's the hair.
Wasn't he on, The Bachelor or something?
Yeah, and he always looks very pleased with himself.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. And, I mean, I guess we should be thankful he's not as bad as his brother. That's the only redeeming quality, is that he's not quite obnoxious to the Aaron Rodgers level, but he is still pretty obnoxious.
He can. I mean, it's a close race.
Yeah, but just don't be terrible. That's all. And then so long as there's so many people who could do it much cheaper who are not terrible, and then maybe you wouldn't have to try to squeeze every dime out of us because you're not paying Pat McAfee to act like a frat bro, even though he's 40.
The network is established.
Yes.
You don't. No matter who they're putting on there as the announcer, they're watching.
Yes.
So I mean now, and also Lee Corso's retired. Obviously, they're kind of pushing McAfee to take over the throne, I guess. But it's not the. I mean, you can get any Joe Blow to go out there and do shenanigans for 1% of what you're paying them.
Yes. This is ridiculous. That's where you need to save money. You don't get more money by not letting us watch games. That's ridiculous. Yeah. God. And
if Pat McAfee and Kirk Herbie don't want to take the pay cut, maybe they'll just go start their own show.
Yeah. Y'all can command so much money. Go do it. Go prove it.
Yeah.
Fools, all of them. All right.
Well, we solved college sports once again.
We did. So we will quickly go through your updated playoff picture, and then we will give you games to watch if you are one of the few who doesn't have to rely on the generosity of ESPN and YouTube TV. And if you are, I'm sorry, but you're in the right place because fuck them.
Can't rely on the mouse.
No, fucking Mickey. Damn it. All right.
All right. Let me make sure I'm on the right week here. Okay. So, playoff picture.
Yes. The Captain PD playoff picture. Number one. Ohio
State.
Beautiful. That's just been how it is.
Until they lose, it's going to be that way.
Number two.
Indiana.
Beautiful again. Number 3.
Alabama.
Wonderful. Number 4.
Texas A&M.
Okay. Number 5.
Georgia.
I feel like Georgia is they're playing with fire here recently, right?
So Georgia has played with fire almost every single week.
Yeah.
But A&M has as well.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of close games. But A&M has a fairly favorable remaining schedule in the SEC, so I don't see them losing a game. And they're pretty much an automatic bid into the SEC championship game at this point.
Yeah. So, all right, number 6.
Oregon.
Okay. And number 7.
Ole Miss.
They looked it. Number 8.
Vandy.
Okay. Real quick, they pissed me off losing to Texas. All right. They came back. They were down 1 million points. They came back.
Yeah.
They had a chance to recover an onside kick to tie the game or win it with a touchdown. 14 of their players, I swear, touched the ball.
Yeah.
And they all pushed it out of bounds. What is it with football players not being able to grab a football? What is wrong?
It's
I don't
almost like
understand.
the ball is not round or something, you know. I don't
Jeez.
know. So Vandy has had a rough stretch of games. They've had to really play quite a few hard opponents. And Texas has struggled in every single game they've played. They had to come from behind last week to beat Mississippi State, I think, in overtime. And then they tried to blow it against Vandy. I just trust Vandy. I know they lost to Texas, but I just trust them a lot more than I trust Texas. So
You're right.
Vandy is the last SEC team I have in the playoff picture at the moment. There's Oklahoma's right there too. Texas is still a 2-loss team. They're going to get into it's just depending on what happens the rest of the year. I just don't have as much trust in those other teams as I do in Vandy at this point.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to win a college football fantasy championship, and I have Vandy. So to watch them do that on that onside kick
Yeah.
just really, really hurt me, especially after 21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. I'm thinking a miracle is about to happen, and then they just roll the ball out of bounds for no reason because they hate me. So, okay. This has been quite the episode for me.
I still got them getting. I mean, they're a playoff team in my opinion. They are very good. They might be the fourth best team in the SEC, or third.
From your lips to the committee's ears. All right.
Yeah.
Number 9.
Texas Tech.
Okay, I agree. Number 10.
Number 10 is it's Georgia Tech or the ACC champions. You know, Georgia Tech lost to NC State for who knows why.
That was crazy.
Just fuck that entire conference. Let's just fuck them all.
Yeah.
This is we discussed there, garbage conference. Nobody can win. There's 5 other teams that have a chance to get into the playoffs because this conference can't decide who's good.
No. The best team as of right now is Virginia, and I don't know anybody who believes in Virginia.
No, but Virginia's had what, two or three games that they've won in overtime?
Yes. They have been double overtime against Florida State, overtime against Louisville, and overtime against Bill Belichick and his young girlfriend.
And NC State might beat both the teams that are in the ACC conference championship game because they've already beat Virginia, even though it wasn't
did not count for some reason.
And then they just beat Georgia Tech, but I don't know. I mean,
I agree. The hell with that conference.
That conference is just garbage.
Stupid. Number 11.
Notre Dame. And they're a 2-loss team. They've lost to 2 good teams other than Miami, who was a good team at the time, who is not anymore. I think Miami has blown their chances after this weekend's loss to SMU.
Good.
Notre Dame, number 11. And we're going to wrap it up with Memphis.
Good. Yes, I agree. Very funny that Miami just did the Miami thing.
Yeah.
Who is stunned by that?
Also, there's still three teams that I think will get into that could knock off Memphis. USF has a chance. Then Navy also has a chance as well because even though they have a very tough schedule going forward, they still have to play Notre Dame, USF, Memphis, and Army.
Ridiculous.
Navy is still is 7-1 at this point and leads the conference.
That is crazy. Yep. Carson Beck blaming his receivers for all his interceptions.
Of course he is.
That's a lot of wrong routes people are running because that's a lot of interceptions there, buddy. But good for them. Okay, now the games of the week, assuming you can watch them. Who knows at this point? We will start with the most important game for the playoff picture. What is that?
Most
Captain
important is BYU and Texas Tech. BYU is a 10.5-point dog at this point, but they're two these two are the two best teams that I've seen in the Big 12. So basically, whoever wins this game should, in theory, barring craziness, be your Big 12 champion at the end of the year. And it could be a rematch between these two in the Big 12 championship game.
That spread is wild to me. I'd like to know what the deal is with that.
Pretty sure it's at Texas.
Yeah.
So that might be part of the reason. But it's not like Utah is very far from Texas.
No. That's actually regionally, it makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that one has the most playoff implications at this point.
Which one will be the most exciting?
I think Virginia and Wake Forest. Wake Forest is kind of like a sleepy, like a sleeper team that no one has really taken seriously, but they have been in some games. And they had a who was it they should have beat? Was it Georgia Tech?
Let's see. They played. Yeah, they played. Yeah, they lost by 1. That's right.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, and they got Robbie. What's his last name?
Oh, Ashford.
Yeah.
Former Gamecock.
Almost LSU savior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost.
So yeah, I think that's where your most exciting game, and then our best game probably going to be Tulane and Memphis. Both those teams still playing for that last playoff spot.
And that's the best non-Big Ten SEC game. The funniest game of the weekend. A new category. We should probably add this permanently, honestly. That's a very good idea. That's all Captain Pete.
Yeah, I just saw this game come up and I was like, this is going to be hilarious, I think.
This man has a migraine and came up with this, so please.
Clemson and FSU.
Man.
2 dumpster fire teams going. I think they're playing at Clemson. I can't wait to see Dabo lose his mind on the sideline again. And just going to be 2 bad teams going at it. So I expect some funny fireworks out of this.
Yeah, that game kind of sums up the weekend because not a great slate of games, honestly.
Yeah.
Like the only top 10 matchup is BYU and Texas Tech. But I'm sure when they were making the schedule, people thought that Florida State Clemson would at least be a top 25 matchup.
Yeah.
Then in the SEC, you got LSU and Bama. That was supposed to be something. That's not going to be anything now, really.
Yep.
And I feel like there was another game. It's just like
Texas A&M and Mizzou. That's A&M is only a 5-point favorite in that game,
which is that's weird to me too.
Yeah, even after Prabula lost his leg, and that's not for the year. But I think that quarterback though was in a 3-way battle between Prabula and that other guy that started the year off for him. So they might just be one of those teams that has 3 quarterbacks that are interchangeable.
And that would make sense because they still have Hardy, the running back, who's incredible. But Prabula, he was good, but he wasn't anything that you would look at and be like, well, this guy isn't replaceable. So, maybe. Oh, the other game that they probably thought was going to be a good matchup, Indiana and Penn State. And now that's just don't even worry about that. Yeah. So
I do have another matchup that could be interesting is UGA and Mississippi State. Because the
Bulldogs are coming up.
They just love to come from behind and win by 4 points. So, and Mississippi State is not a bad team. They're just can't finish games.
They won their first SEC game in like 30 years. What was it? Let me get the date right. October 21st, 2023 was the last time they won a conference game. They just won it this past week against Arkansas. So, Mississippi State, they're rising to the top.
Yeah. The tide is
on the way. So, all right. Well, guess what? The slate of games, subpar. You might not even get to watch them. So instead, you should take a boat tour with the captain himself. He will be healthy when he sees you. The migraine will be resolved. We're working on it now. Captain Petey, it's going to be in the show notes, but also tell the people in your lovely voice how they can book a tour with you if they're in the Low Country area.
You can book online at morrisislandcharter.com. Call me, text me, 843-608-8006. Email me, morrisislandcharters@gmail.com. Look me up on Facebook and Instagram, Morris Island Charters.
Boom. All right. Thank you for listening to me yell about college athletics.
Greed.
That will do it for this week. We will catch you again next week. Goodbye.
Ahoy.